Hi guys, welcome to Arequipa, Peru. I got in yesterday morning, ended up taking the night bus from Nasca the day before. So let me catch you up on the rest of my stay in Nasca. Last I talked to you guys, I was at the Paradones, and I was with a little old man who's giving me a tour, who later wanted to get married with me, but I said, no sorry, no can do, not staying here. Anyways, so just goes to show no matter how old, guys are always the same. Anyways, so after that, I left the little old man there. He went back into town, and from there I ended up getting a colectivo, which again is like shared taxi, to El Telar, which is in another close by town, and basically from there they have more lines that you can see in the dirt. So you walk down this path, you can kind of go up a little higher to get a viewpoint, and you see these lines and like the swirly design. Anyways, so more of those same kind of similar lines you see from the plane. Check that out, because the pass that I got was actually good for 4 places, which I didn't even realize. So that was one of them. Then after that, I went to the Acueductos de Cantoyac, which I thought were different aqueducts than the ones I saw from the plane, but it might actually be the same ones. But anyways, back in the day, they made these aqueducts, and they're really cool looking. It's like these swirly, basically cut out designs like in the ground with rocks surrounding them. They just look really cool. Anyways, so went to there, got to see them up close, and just checked out that area. Then went back into town and ended up doing a tour to go to this Cementerio, or cemetery. And basically, from the people that used to live in Nasca long ago, there's a cemetery of like, they've found so many bones and skeletons there. So they're literally bones all over the place, but they have certain tombs where they have it all set up. Anyways, so they're in pretty good condition. Some of them like still even have hair. And the guy was telling us, and also noticed like some of them were rastas and have like dreads and super long hair. So it was interesting getting to see like all these skeletons. He was telling us a little bit about it, and basically when they're buried, they would always be buried in the fetal position. They would also give them water, food, clothes, I want to say, because they believed that there was an afterlife. And again, like putting them in the fetal position would be like how you entered into this world, and you would enter the same way into the next world. So it was interesting seeing that. He was also telling us that basically the tombs, they're not really protected very well, and some bones are literally just out like in the sand. They're just everywhere. If you dug through the sand, you'd probably just find tons of bones. He said like 10,000 people used to live there. So anyways, consider all of that. And anyways, they're not protected very well because no money is given to them, and basically all the money goes to Machu Picchu. So if you're in Nasca, you should check it out and help support, because anyways, that's basically what he was saying. So it was interesting to learn about that a little bit more and check that out. He was also saying that years ago, a lot of the tombs were robbed, so people would basically like cut off arms and heads and everything to take clothes and jewelry and things like that, as well as back then also some people were sacrificed and decapitated and all sorts of things. So got to see lots of skeletons there. Okay, so after that was pretty much my last day. Ended up having chifa for dinner, which I haven't filled you guys in yet, but basically I've also had this in Ecuador, but there it's called chaufa. It's basically like Chinese food, so fried rice with whatever in it. But it's really common here. So years ago I was told a lot of Chinese people came over because it was cheap employment, like cheap work, labor. Anyways, so that's how the whole Chinese cuisine became incorporated, but it's pretty common and popular in Peru. So it's almost like become a Peruvian cuisine, even though it's originated from Chinese food. And I want to say that's like the best meal I've had since I've been in Peru, which is kind of funny because it's really more like Chinese food. Anyways, so had that for dinner, ended up getting a bus ticket that left that night because I didn't feel like there's too much to do in Nasca, and again, most of the buses leave at night, so ended up doing that, and then got into Arequipa yesterday morning around 9 o'clock. couple side notes, things I've noticed as well. Before I forget, notice Peruvians kiss on the cheek. Like everyone does that in Latin America, but usually it's just like cheek to cheek. They actually turn their head to like kiss you on the cheek. Something I've noticed in Peru more. What else? There was one other thing. Oh, it's super slippery. I feel like everywhere I've been walking around, like all around Peru. I've slipped so many times, knock on wood, not falling completely, but I swear yesterday I slipped like so many times. So I don't know why that's the case, but I've really noticed that. I've been slipping and sliding all over the place. Probably doesn't help I've been walking around in flip-flops, but usually it's not a problem. Today I have my boots on though, so luckily I've been okay so far. So yesterday I got in, I'm couch surfing again. Basically ended up coming into the city and doing a walking tour, so walked around a lot of the center of town, the historic part of town. Arequipa is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it's called the White City. The reason why is because of it's built out of volcanic rock, not ash, volcanic rock, which is that color. So you can maybe see behind me the white rock or building. And in 2001, after the earthquake, it was then declared UNESCO World Heritage, and they restored everything afterwards. So, side note, and there's 3 volcanoes nearby. I think only one's active. But anyways, so walked around the center of town, Plaza de Armas, again, really pretty plaza, main plaza. We walked through this area, I don't really remember the name, but kind of like old historic streets, the oldest, most oldest part of the city basically, but they have cute streets to walk around. We went to the Yanahuara overlook, which is like this bridge where you can see the volcanoes if it's clear, although it wasn't really that clear when we went there. There's also this church over there that we saw, which the guide was explaining, like you can see in the decoration of it, which is really pretty, really ornate and everything, but they have influences from Inca and Spanish, because basically when the Spaniards came over and were trying to convert and everything, so you see in the designs there's like a mixture of symbols and stuff from both cultures. So yeah, we walked around a bunch, got to try some queso helado, which originally I thought was ice cream that tastes like cheese, which I thought sounded weird, but then I found out it's actually same as Ecuador helado de paila. They just call it that. So it's the way they make it in that big pan. Anyways, it's really good. Lucuma is another fruit from here. I had that flavor ice cream. It's actually really good. And picanterias, we stopped by one. It's a place where you can eat local food. Also tried chicha de moja, I want to say. It's probably not it, but another type of chicha, which was really good. I liked actually more. Kind of tasted like mulled wine. Learned about the famous author who won the Nobel Peace Prize. Of course, I don't remember his name now. And that was like mostly at walking around, different plazas, San Francisco, of course, different churches. Later on, afterwards, I went to the Mercado del Camilo, which is a big market with fruit, food, and all sorts of produce and other things. I'll also learn another interesting thing. I saw some llamas and I guess alpacas actually. Anyways, alpacas. The guide kind of explained the difference between them and how she described that as this is an alpaca and this is a llama. So you can kind of see the shape of the head and the neck is longer when it's a llama. So they actually eat alpacas. Apparently they're better because they're like grown for that. Anyways, although I've had llama years ago in Argentina, it was pretty good. Haven't tried alpaca, I guess, so we'll have to do that. Also learned about fertility frogs, you could say. So frogs here, they're symbolic of like fertility. And she was telling us how some people still do this in certain communities, but they would even use them as like a fertility test, where if a woman thinks she's pregnant and she puts pee on top of it, a female frog, supposedly if the woman's pregnant, then the pee will make the frog lay eggs. Really interesting. And also she was saying in the market, I didn't see this or try it, although I'm not sure I would, but they have jugo de rana, which is actually like this drink that they make, and they mix frog, milk, I think some fruits, eggs, I don't know, a whole bunch of things. Didn't sound very appetizing. She said it wasn't really that good. But anyways, it's supposed to be good for you. So lots of interesting things we learned. And yeah, just walked around a bit more. Also, there's like a pedestrian street near the main Plaza de Armas. So explored a bit more. And then today, again, been exploring a little bit more. Went to this Bolognesi bridge and walked over there to this airplane park, just this park that has an airplane. Right now I'm at the Cloisters of the company, learning a little bit more about the missionaries and things that came here long ago, the Jesuits. Again, really like ornate design, really pretty. And then in a little bit, I'm actually gonna meet up with a friend of mine, again, that I met in Argentina studying in Buenos Aires many years ago. Not sure what we're gonna do yet or the rest of the day, so I'll catch you up on that later. But tonight, in the middle of the night, I'm actually taking a side trip to Cañón de Colca, which is the second deepest canyon in the world, apparently. So I'm gonna spend the next 2 days trekking there and like making various stops along the way. It's supposed to be really pretty. And yeah, I think that's mostly it. So let me show you the view before I say goodbye. Anyways, you can see how pretty it is here. And this is one of the main plazas. If you walk through that way, there's another one, as well as if you walk through here. I'll give you a quick little show. I just took a picture with that too. Lady with the llama. All right, I'm gonna say goodbye here because it's been way too long already. So I will catch up with you guys soon from Cañón de Colca. Bye.